Just how can you make a story funny? You can tell any story in a funny way, but how do you do that? Well, these are just little tips, alright? So be on point. The joke's got to be relevant. I often tell jokes in a way that people think I'm telling the truth. It's almost like someone's talking about, I don't know, whatever, like, you know, going to a restaurant, and then I'll say, oh yeah, the other day I was in a restaurant and this woman sneezed and the eye flew out. Something like that. And it almost feels like it's real, and then everybody's like listening. What happened? And you know, she just said, you know, I caught her eye. Like that. So your jokes have got to be tied into the situation so it feels real, you know. So be on point, all right? So sometimes the joke's got to be relevant. Because imagine you're in a restaurant and then you tell a story that's totally irrelevant about Donald Trump or something. It may not go well, right? Don't make anyone look bad. So if the joke's going to make someone look bad, twist it so it's about yourself, okay? Choose good timing, of course. Timing is always the most thing. And timing not only, it's got to be at a time when people are ready to listen. Okay? Allow time for the audience to get it. So you notice I always pause before I hit the punchline. You don't just tell a story and go right through. Pause, wait for everybody to sort of like, they want to hear what's going on. Then you hold them on and you wait so that when you drop it, it's going to be a bomb. Prompt to make them laugh. This is an important skill and it's very subtle. The way I make people laugh sometimes, it's like I tell it, and then before the punchline I go, but you don't notice it when I do it. It's just if I'm going to make you laugh, it's like, you know it's time to laugh. So even if you don't get the joke, you better laugh, right? Now don't talk after the punchline. When you've delivered it, and it's like, oh, you caught my eye. Oh, you mean it's catch my eye? Don't do that. When you hit the punchline, stop. So if she says, oh, you just happened to catch my eye. Even if people don't understand, let it sit for a little while first. You just happened to get my eye. Because you know, get my eye means it just spoils the joke, okay? So if you're going to tell the joke, tell the joke. And not everybody's going to get the joke. And it's like, oh, well, too bad. You know, next. Alright? The joke does not have to be a joke. A funny one-liner is really good sometimes too. Okay? I say use callbacks, but this is a slide from my previous workshop. But callbacks is when someone has said something funny, like maybe in an earlier conversation, and then you bring it back. It's really funny. It's something like someone is talking about traveling, and even though now we're in restaurants, then you can tell a joke about traveling at that time because everybody still remembers the last conversation. That's how you bring it in, okay? Anyway, so use these tools. Joke telling. Exaggerate. Alright? So even as I tell the joke and I say, you just happen to catch my eye. I don't just happen to catch my eye. It doesn't work that way. So you tell the joke and get your body moving, okay? Exaggerate. Be dramatic, all right? Because after all, you're telling a really good story. I'm not going to tell this joke now, but you know, I always tell this joke about the person who's a soccer player. He's a goalkeeper. And when I tell the joke and he's a goalkeeper, I tell it like this. He's waiting. He's trying to catch the ball. Yeah, 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 like that, you know? So that's how you tell the joke. Make faces, okay? That's really important because that's part of your storytelling. And in fact, all these rules would apply to your speeches, even if it's not a joke, all right? Use body language, you know? If I'm talking about soccer players, or if I'm talking about kung fu artists, you've got to do that, because if you're going to be talking about a really pretty girl walk down the road, it doesn't work that way, but if you know that really pretty girl walk down the road, then you create that atmosphere. People are going to look, you know. So of course, you know, she's wearing high heel shoes, so you've got to do the feet. When you do that, the joke gets funnier. Use surprise and misdirection, okay? Does anybody know what that means?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
No! that means, wow, that's fun! Okay? Use pausing and pacing. Okay? So even the way I describe it, pause, pace. Okay? So you've got to use these techniques to get the joke going. Examples of wordplay. So, well, 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 what have we got here? So that's like well, 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 you know? This is like I love you, okay? So if you like eating olives and you're at a restaurant, you might say something, oh, I love you, you know, like that. So you get to use these jokes, okay? Of course, you can't tell this joke to some people. You're fat. He says that's very hypocritical. So he's a hippo. So you use words to play, all right? And I'm going to jump on. Make sure you know your audience, because you don't want to tell a joke, a religious joke, and then find out that everybody in the room is a priest or a rabbi, and you tell a horrible religious joke, okay? Don't put anyone down. Here's a big one. Borrow humor. Because that's what I've been telling you from the beginning. You know one joke, but you can change the joke into various different ways to suit the story. You know, I mean, you could be talking about terrorists. I mean, everybody's scared. You know, and I'll say, well, I'm not scared of terrorists. I'm married. Okay? So you notice how I deliver that. I'm not scared of terrorists. I'm married. Alright? So you've got to use pause. Oh, time's up, time's up. So at a wedding, don't joke about the bride, you know. Just remember that. You can joke about yourself if you're the one that's the groom. Of course, you're going to wonder why the girl dresses in white. Then you're going to wonder why the guy dresses in black. Okay? And I don't have to explain that joke, right? Some people think I should. So, am I making up this stuff? I truly am, you know? I just think about trying to share how I tell jokes. And I love telling jokes. When I'm at my tennis club in the locker room, there's a friend of mine who also loves telling jokes. And the two of us, we tell jokes, and he'll tell me one, and it reminds me of another joke, and I'll tell him one, and it reminds him of one. And so the whole locker room is laughing and laughing with just two people telling jokes. Practice, practice, practice. So, what I'm going to do today, or what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to hand everyone a sheet, and you're going to tell a joke. So you don't have to think of a joke, I've got it there for you. I just want to see how you deliver the joke. And then either we can make it better or funnier. You just try. It's only a workshop. Yeah. But what you've got to do after this is, if you really want to get good at this, is you've got to go and learn some jokes and tell it. And you've got to find that it's really easy. You know, if you ask me just to tell you a joke, it's kind of hard. But in a situation, I come up with a joke because I've got lots of jokes, but it's just something has to remind me about the joke. So I don't have a file to say, tell me a joke, and I'm just going to tell you a joke, all right? So someone says, tell me about someone who's unlucky. And, oh, I remember there was a joke about a guy whose name was Lucky, like that, you know? So the situation tells you. If you get used to telling one joke, another joke, sooner or later you're going to have a whole bunch of jokes in your pocket. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a joke today, we'll try it out, and then tell someone the joke tomorrow. And tell it again. And you're going to find that by the third time you tell the joke, it's going to get really good. And I tell you, even I do that. You'd think I'm a master joke teller, and I would still get it wrong. Oh, I messed it up. I told the punchline too early. I got it wrong. Because most jokes have to be very clever. Doesn't matter, but by the third time I tell the joke, it's good. And then I was discussing this with this friend of mine who also likes telling jokes, and he says he practices on his patients. He's a dentist. So while he's working, he tells jokes. That way they can open their mouth. Ha ha ha! Right? So I just said that. But the point is, he also says it takes him about 3 times before he gets the joke right. So don't get scared. You tell the joke the first time, it doesn't work. Find someone else. Tell the joke again. It doesn't work. The 3rd time you get it right. Now all of a sudden, you tell the joke 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It's yours. You can change that joke backwards, forwards, up and down, whatever. You know. So every time you drive, you'll tell. You know what D is for? Daytime driving. You know what N is for? Nighttime driving. You see, so it doesn't even have to be a story about so and so. You can even make it. Yeah, the first time I came to Canada and I bought a car, I didn't know what D was for. You know, what N was for. You can change it, make it to you. All right. So everything is about practice, right? So let's just see who's the lucky one. Doesn't really matter. Okay.
I got mine actually. I got mine.
Okay, you can
I
tell
prepare
yours.
one.
You prepare one?
Yes.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter.